r/AITA for exposing my family's cruel holiday comments I recorded. r/AITA for exposing my family's cruel holiday comments I recorded. I'm sitting in my childhood bedroom at 2 a.m., staring at my phone with 13 audio recordings that could blow up my entire family. My finger is hovering over the post button, and I honestly don't know if I'm about to make the biggest mistake of my life or finally stand up for myself. This all started 6 hours ago at Thanksgiving dinner. I, 22F, drove 3 hours from college to spend the holiday with my extended family, parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents. The whole crew that I've been dreading to see but felt obligated to visit because, well, family. The evening started normally enough. Hugs, small talk, the usual, how's school going, questions that I've learned to answer with generic positivity. But then I noticed a pattern that's been happening for years. Whenever I left the main dining area, the conversation would shift. Lower voices, quick glances toward wherever I'd gone. This time, I was helping clear dishes in the kitchen when I heard my Aunt Sarah's voice drift from the dining room. I'm just saying, she's gotten so much bigger since last Christmas. It's concerning. My stomach dropped. I froze by the sink, dirty plates in my hands. Well, what do you expect? Uncle Mike chimed in. She's studying some useless liberal arts degree. Probably stress eating because she knows she'll never find a real job. I felt my face burning. Without really thinking about it, I pulled out my phone and started recording. And did you see how she was dressed tonight? Cousin Jessica added. That sweater is not doing her any favors. Someone should really say something. My grandmother, my own grandmother, laughed. Actually laughed. Remember when she was in high school and actually took care of herself? Such a pretty girl. It's a shame. I stood there for what felt like hours but was probably only minutes, listening to them dissect everything about me. My weight, my major, English literature, apparently worthless, my lack of a boyfriend, probably because of how she's let herself go, even my car, did you see that dent in the side? Girl can't take care of anything. The worst part. Every single time I walked back into the room, they'd seamlessly transition to talking about the weather or asking if I needed anything, all smiles and fake concern. This happened 4 more times throughout the night. Each time I left the room, to use the bathroom, to grab something from my car, to help with dessert, the comments would start up again. And each time, I recorded them. The final straw came when I was getting my coat to leave. I heard Uncle Mike say, honestly, I give it 2 years before she's back home, living in their basement, wondering where her life went wrong. Some people just aren't cut out for independence. The room erupted in agreement and laughter. I said my goodbyes with the biggest fake smile I could manage, hugged everyone like nothing had happened, and drove home in complete silence. But here's the thing that's making me see red. I just spent the last hour scrolling through Facebook and Instagram, watching every single one of them post photos from tonight. Blessed to spend time with family. So grateful for these wonderful people. Family is everything. They're all tagged in each other's posts, gushing about what a perfect evening it was, how much love was in the room, how thankful they are for such a supportive family. Meanwhile, I have 13 recordings on my phone that tell a very different story. So here I am, with a Facebook post typed up, audio files attached, ready to tag every single person who spent tonight tearing me apart behind my back. AIT if I hit post. I've been staring at this screen for 20 more minutes, and my hands are literally shaking. 3 times I've typed out different versions of the post. 3 times I've deleted everything and started over. The first draft was pure rage, calling them all out by name with timestamps of their worst comments. The second was more measured, trying to explain how hurt I was. The third was just the raw audio with a simple caption, this is what my family really thinks of me. But then my phone buzzed with a text from Mom, thank you for coming tonight, sweetie. It meant so much to have you there. Drive safe tomorrow. Love you. I actually laughed out loud. The audacity. Another buzz. This time from Aunt Sarah, so good to see you tonight. You look wonderful. Can't wait for Christmas. Are they serious right now? Do they genuinely not realize I could hear them? Or is this just what we do, pretend everything is fine while they systematically destroy my self-esteem behind closed doors? I'm scrolling through the recordings again, and honestly, hearing it back is somehow worse than experiencing it in real time. There's something about Uncle Mike's tone when he talks about my inevitable failure that makes my skin crawl. And Cousin Jessica, who literally asked me about my skincare routine earlier like we were best friends, sounds absolutely gleeful when she's picking apart my appearance. But it's my grandmother that's breaking my heart. She raised me half the summers of my childhood. She taught me to bake, let me sleep in her bed during thunderstorms, always told me I was her special girl. Hearing her voice on that recording, talking about how I used to be pretty. I keep replaying that part and it feels like a knife twisting. The thing is, I know what will happen if I post this. It won't be a simple call-out that leads to apologies and changed behavior. This is nuclear. This is relationship ending, family destroying, no going back nuclear. My dad will probably never speak to me again, he's big on family loyalty and keeping private matters private. Mom will be caught in the middle and forced to choose sides. My cousins will close ranks. Holiday invitations will stop coming. I'll become the family pariah, the unstable one who secretly recorded private conversations and aired dirty laundry on social media. They'll make me the villain in this story. But maybe I already am the villain in their story. Maybe I've been the family joke for years and I was just too naive to realize it. How many other gatherings have they spent dissecting my failures? How many family group chats am I not in where they share their concerns about my life choices? Another notification pops up. Cousin Jessica posted a selfie of us from tonight with the caption, love this girl. Family forever. 2 hearts. I look at the photo. I'm smiling so wide, my arm around her shoulders, completely oblivious that she'd spent the evening talking about how awful I looked. 57 likes already. Comments flooding in about how sweet we look together, how lucky we are to have such a close family. I screenshot it and add it to my draft post. My finger is hovering over the button again, but now there's something else nagging at me. A voice in the back of my head that sounds suspiciously like my dad, what exactly do you think this will accomplish? Will humiliating them publicly make you feel better? Will it change anything? Maybe it won't change them. But maybe it'll change how I let people treat me. I take a deep breath and close my eyes. When I open them, I'm going to make a choice I can't take back. My phone rings and nearly gives me a heart attack. It's 1:47 a.m. and Mom's name is flashing on the screen. Did I wake you? She asks when I answer, but her voice sounds weird. Strained. No, I was up. What's wrong? There's a pause that goes on too long. Honey, your Aunt Sarah just called me. She said she's been thinking about tonight and she's worried that maybe, well, she's worried you might have overheard some conversations that weren't meant for your ears. My blood turns to ice. What do you mean? She said they were just venting, you know how families do. But she's concerned you might have gotten the wrong idea about some things they said. Did you hear anything that upset you tonight? I'm gripping the phone so hard my knuckles are white. They know. They fucking know I heard them, and now they're doing damage control. What exactly did Aunt Sarah say they were venting about? Oh sweetheart, you know how it is. Sometimes adults say things when they're worried about someone they love. It doesn't mean anything. Your aunt just wants to make sure there aren't any hurt feelings. The gaslighting is unreal. So what were they worried about? Another pause. I can practically hear her choosing her words carefully. Just, normal family concerns. Your health, your future, that kind of thing. But Sarah feels terrible thinking you might have misunderstood their intentions. Their intentions when they called my degree worthless. Or when they said I'd end up living in your basement. The silence stretches so long I think the call dropped. Then, oh honey. You did hear. And there it is. Confirmation. They know exactly what they said, and they know exactly how it sounded. Mom's voice shifts into full damage control mode. Listen, I need you to understand something. Yes, they said some things they shouldn't have. But they love you. We all love you. Sometimes when people are concerned, it comes out wrong. They were just. Were you part of these conversations, Mom? What? Were you there when they were talking about how much weight I've gained? When they were laughing about my appearance? When Grandma was talking about how I used to be pretty? The pause tells me everything. I didn't participate in. But you were there. Honey, please. Don't let this ruin our family. Sometimes people say things they don't mean when they're just talking among themselves. It's not fair to hold private conversations to the same standard as. I hang up. Immediately, my phone starts buzzing with texts. First Mom, please call me back. Let's talk about this. Then Aunt Sarah, sweetie, I'm so sorry if you overheard anything tonight. Can we talk? Then Uncle Mike, hey kiddo, your mom said there might be some misunderstandings about tonight. Nothing but love for you here. They're all awake. At 2 a.m. on a Friday night, my entire family is apparently having an emergency conference call about damage control. How long have they been talking about this? Did they realize immediately after I left that I'd overheard? Have they been strategizing for hours about how to handle this? My laptop is still open with Facebook pulled up. My finger hovers over the post button, but now everything feels different. This isn't just about exposing their cruelty anymore. They're actively trying to manipulate me into staying quiet. They're not sorry about what they said, they're sorry they got caught. Another text, this time from Dad, your mother is very upset. We need to discuss this as a family before anyone does something they'll regret. That sounds like a threat. I refresh Facebook and see 3 more family photos have been posted in the last hour, all with gushing captions about family love and gratitude. They're doubling down on the lie while simultaneously trying to silence me. My finger moves toward the post button. But then my phone rings again. This time it's a number I don't recognize with my hometown area code. At 2:13 a.m. Who the hell? Hello? Is this really how you want to handle this? It's cousin Jessica, but her voice is completely different from the sweet tone she used in her texts. Cold. Sharp. I'm sorry, what? Don't play dumb. We all know you were eavesdropping tonight. And now you're what, planning some kind of revenge? That's really mature. The hypocrisy is staggering. I wasn't eavesdropping. You were talking loud enough for the entire neighborhood to hear. Look, I don't know what you think you heard, but I know exactly what I heard, Jessica. Including the part where you said I looked like I'd been hit by a truck and that my skin was absolutely tragic. Real sweet, considering you complimented my outfit to my face. Silence. Then, fine. Yes, we talked about you. So what? That's what families do. We're concerned about you. You've gained weight, your career prospects are questionable at best, and frankly, your attitude tonight was pretty antisocial. We're allowed to discuss our concerns. Antisocial. I helped cook, I cleaned dishes, I played with the kids. You barely spoke to anyone. You kept disappearing. It was weird. I kept disappearing because every time I walked into a room, you all stopped talking and stared at me like I was some kind of zoo animal. God, you're so paranoid. Everything isn't about you. This conversation is insane. She's actually trying to gaslight me about something I have recorded. You know what, Jessica? You're right. I should have just stayed home. Maybe you should have. Save us all the drama. The line goes dead. I'm shaking. Actually physically shaking with rage. Within minutes, my phone explodes with notifications. Jessica has apparently reported back to the family group chat because now I'm getting calls and texts from everyone. Dad's calling. Uncle Mike is texting. Even my cousin Ryan, who barely said 2 words to me all night, is suddenly sending paragraphs about family unity and forgiveness. But the worst part? They're all saying the same things. Like they coordinated their responses. We love you. Family comes first. Don't let hurt feelings ruin everything. Think about what this could do to Grandma. Oh, now they're worried about Grandma. Where was that concern when she was calling me a disappointment? I scroll back through the recordings one more time. Listen to their voices, their casual cruelty, their laughter at my expense. Then I look at their texts, full of fake concern and manipulation. Another Facebook notification. Uncle Mike just posted a throwback photo from when I was 12, all gap-toothed and skinny, with the caption, "So grateful for family. Love this kid to pieces, then and now." Red heart. The comments are already rolling in. Such a sweet uncle. Family love. Beautiful memories. He posted this while simultaneously texting me about misunderstandings and asking me to be reasonable. My laptop screen is still glowing, my draft post ready to go. But now there's something else loaded up in another tab, a group text thread I'm apparently not part of, but someone screenshot and sent to me anonymously. I don't recognize the number, but the message is clear. Thought you should see this. The screenshot shows my family members discussing damage control and managing the situation. Uncle Mike's text stands out. "We need to make sure she doesn't do anything stupid. Keep posting positive stuff and maybe she'll realize what she has to lose." They're playing chess while pretending to offer apologies. My finger hovers over the post button one more time, but now I'm wondering, is there an even better way to handle this? I stare at that screenshot until my eyes burn. They're not just trying to contain the damage, they're strategizing against me like I'm some kind of enemy combatant. The casual way Uncle Mike talks about making me realize what I have to lose makes my skin crawl. Like my love for them is just leverage to be exploited. Another text comes in from the unknown number. "There's more. Check your email." My hands are trembling as I open my laptop. Sure enough, there's an email from a Proton Mail account with no identifying information. The subject line just says, "Family meeting 2:30 a.m. It's an audio file. I plug in my headphones and hit play, already knowing I'm about to hear something that will change everything. Can't let her post anything online. You know how these things go viral. That's Dad's voice, stressed in a way I rarely hear. What exactly could she post? She doesn't have any proof of anything. Aunt Sarah sounds defensive. She was acting weird all night, disappearing constantly. For all we know, she was recording everything. Uncle Mike's voice makes my blood freeze. Kids these days, they record everything. Oh God, you think she actually recorded us? Mom sounds panicked. I'm just saying we need to assume the worst and plan accordingly. There's a pause, then Grandma's voice, sharp and clear. "Well, if she did record anything, then she heard exactly what we think of her choices. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. Sometimes people need a wake-up call." Mom, that's not helpful right now. Dad again, sounding exhausted. I'm just saying, we all tiptoe around her feelings, but look where it's gotten us. She's 22 years old, living in a fantasy world, studying something useless, and frankly, she's let herself go completely. Maybe hearing some hard truths would motivate her to make better choices. The casual cruelty in Grandma's voice hits me like a physical blow. This isn't just venting or concern, this is genuine disdain. Jessica's voice chimes in. "The real problem is if she posts anything, it makes us all look bad. My work colleagues follow me on Facebook. I can't have them seeing drama about my family being cruel or whatever narrative she wants to spin. This is about your professional image." Mom sounds incredulous. "Everything is connected these days, Aunt Linda. Online reputation matters. If she posts some sob story about us being mean to her, and it gets shared around, that could actually impact my career. So what do you suggest we do?" Uncle Mike asks. "We need to get ahead of this. Post more family photos, flood her timeline with positive comments, make it look like we're all close. Make her realize that if she burns this bridge, she's giving up something good. Classic manipulation tactics, show her what she'll lose." My mouth falls open. Jessica just casually described emotional manipulation like she was discussing the weather. That seems. Mom starts, but Jessica cuts her off. "Look, I'm in marketing. This is literally what I do for a living. You control narratives by controlling the information flow. We make her the villain if she posts anything negative about tonight. Ungrateful niece attacks family who loves her plays a lot better than family cruelly mocks struggling student. Jesus, Jess, she's not a client. She's family. That's my cousin Ryan, and he sounds disgusted. Exactly. Which is why we protect the family from her making a stupid decision she'll regret later." The recording cuts off there. I sit in the silence of my apartment, headphones still on, processing what I just heard. They're not sorry. They're not concerned about my feelings. They're worried about their own reputations and they're actively plotting to manipulate me into staying silent. But who sent me this recording? Someone was in that conversation who wanted me to hear it. Someone in my family is apparently on my side. My phone buzzes with another text from the unknown number. "Post it. They deserve whatever happens next." I stare at that last text for a long time. Post it. They deserve whatever happens next. But who is this person? The thought that someone in my family, someone who was apparently in that late-night damage control meeting, is secretly feeding me information changes everything. I scroll back through my contacts, trying to figure out who would have access to a family meeting at 2:30 a.m. but also be willing to betray the group. Ryan sounded disgusted in the recording, but would he really go this far? Or maybe it's someone else entirely, a spouse who was listening in. One of the partners who's tired of the family drama. Before I can overthink it, I text back, "Who is this?" The response comes immediately, "Someone who's watched them do this to people for years. You're not the first target, just the latest." My blood runs cold. "What do you mean?" "Your cousin Emma. Remember how she suddenly stopped coming to family gatherings 5 years ago? Everyone said she was too busy with her new job in Portland. I remember Emma vaguely, Uncle Mike's stepdaughter from his second marriage. She used to come to everything, then just disappeared from family events. The family always spoke about her vaguely, saying she was going through a phase or too good for us now." Another message, "They did the same thing to her. Picked apart her life, her choices, her appearance. When she finally confronted them, they made her feel like she was crazy and oversensitive. She moved across the country to get away from them. How do you know all this?" "Because I helped them do it. And I've regretted it ever since. Jesus. Whoever this is has been carrying guilt about Emma for 5 years, and now they're watching history repeat itself with me. Why didn't you stop them tonight? Because I'm a coward. But I can't watch them destroy another person and stay silent. I look back at my laptop screen, at the post that's been waiting to go live for hours now. But suddenly the anonymous ally makes me realize something. This isn't just about me. This is a pattern. A family tradition of psychological warfare disguised as concern. How many other people have they done this to? How many family members have been slowly frozen out, made to feel crazy, gaslit until they just gave up and walked away? My phone buzzes again. This time it's a Facebook notification, another family member posting. Aunt Sarah has shared a photo of tonight's dinner table, all golden light and perfectly arranged dishes, with a caption, "So blessed to have such a loving, supportive family." These are the moments that matter. Red heart hashtag grateful hashtag family hashtag blessed. The comments are already flowing in from family, friends and distant relatives. Beautiful. Family is everything. You're all so lucky to have each other. I screenshot it and send it to my anonymous contact. Really driving home the narrative, aren't they? Jessica's strategy in action. Create the story they want people to see. Looking at that photo, at Aunt Sarah's performance of family bliss just hours after she called my skin absolutely tragic, something inside me snaps. This isn't just about protecting myself anymore. This is about stopping a cycle. I open a new browser tab and create a fresh social media post, not the one I've been working on all night, but something bigger. Something that addresses the pattern, not just tonight's incident. But as I start typing, my phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize, local area code. Hello. Sweetie, it's Emma. My hands go numb. Emma. My supposedly too busy cousin who vanished from family life years ago. Emma. How did you get my number? I've been keeping tabs on everyone from a distance. And I heard about tonight. We need to talk. Emma, I can't believe it's really you. I'm pacing my apartment now, phone pressed to my ear. Everyone said you were just busy with work, that you'd grown apart from the family. Her laugh is bitter. Busy. Right. That's the story they tell, isn't it? Much better than admitting they systematically destroyed my self-worth until I had a complete breakdown at Christmas dinner 5 years ago. What happened? The same thing that happened to you tonight, except it went on for 2 years. Every gathering, every holiday, every family barbecue. My weight, my boyfriend, my job, my clothes, my personality. They had something to say about everything, always framed as, "We're just worried about you," or "We love you," but... Until I started believing there was something fundamentally wrong with me. My chest tightens. But you confronted them. I tried. I finally worked up the courage to tell them how their comments were affecting me. Want to guess what happened? I already know, but I let her continue. They made me feel like I was insane. We never said that. You're being too sensitive. We're just trying to help. Grandma actually told me I was playing victim, and that maybe I should look inward instead of blaming everyone else for my problems. Jesus, Emma. The worst part. I started believing them. I thought maybe I was being too sensitive, maybe I was remembering things wrong. I spent months in therapy trying to figure out if I was losing my mind. Her voice cracks slightly, and I feel a surge of rage so intense it surprises me. This isn't just about tonight's dinner anymore. This is about a family that systematically gaslights anyone who doesn't fit their narrow definition of acceptable. How did you find out about tonight? I have one ally left in the family. Someone who's been watching this pattern repeat over and over and finally decided to do something about it. The anonymous texter. They sent me recordings too. I know. They called me after they heard the damage control meeting. Said they couldn't watch it happen again. Who is it, Emma? Who's been helping us? There's a pause. I can't tell you that yet. They're not ready to be exposed, and honestly, they're taking a huge risk just by reaching out. But they've been documenting things for years, waiting for the right moment. Documenting things. Photos, recordings, screenshots of family group chats where they plan these interventions. You're not the only one they've done this to recently, either. My blood runs cold. Who else? Ryan's girlfriend backed out of coming to Christmas last year after Thanksgiving. Remember how they said she had the flu? She actually broke up with him temporarily because she couldn't handle another family gathering after they spent 3 hours picking apart her career, her family background, and her alternative style. I remember Ryan being weird around the holidays last year, how quiet he got whenever anyone mentioned his girlfriend Sarah. Did they get back together? Eventually, but only after she made him promise they'd never spend holidays with the extended family again. She gave him an ultimatum, her or family gatherings. Guess which one he chose? That's why he wasn't bringing anyone tonight. Exactly. And that's why he sounded disgusted in the recording you heard. He's watching them do to you what they did to his relationship. My laptop screen is still open to the social media post I was drafting. Looking at it now, it feels too small. Too focused on just my experience. Emma, what if we did this together? What do you mean? What if we both posted? Showed the pattern. Made it impossible for them to dismiss as one person being oversensitive. The line goes quiet for a long moment. That would be nuclear, she finally says. There would be no coming back from that. Good, I say, surprising myself with the venom in my voice. Maybe it's time for some consequences. I'm scared, Emma admits quietly. I've built a whole new life out here. New friends, new job, a boyfriend who doesn't even know about any of this family drama. What if this blows up and follows me here? Her fear is contagious, and suddenly I'm second-guessing everything. Maybe we should think about this more. No. Her voice sharpens. No, that's exactly what they want. That's how they win, by making us doubt ourselves until we back down. She takes a shaky breath. I've spent 5 years running from this. I'm tired of being afraid. My phone buzzes with another text from the anonymous family member. Jessica just called an emergency family meeting for tomorrow morning. She knows something's wrong. I read it aloud to Emma, who curses softly. They're circling the wagons. Classic Jessica move, get ahead of the narrative before it spirals. What kind of emergency meeting? Damage control. They'll craft a story about tonight, probably paint you as unstable or going through a hard time. By the time they're done, anyone who hears your side will think you're having some kind of breakdown. Another text comes through, she's calling everyone. Making it sound like you had some kind of episode at dinner and they're all worried about your mental health. My stomach drops. They're already starting the campaign. Emma's voice turns grim. Of course they are. I should have warned you, the retaliation is swift and vicious. By tomorrow afternoon, there will be a family-wide consensus that you're troubled and need help, and anything you say will be dismissed as the ramblings of someone who's not well. I think about my parents, probably getting calls right now from Jessica, filling their heads with concern about their struggling daughter. My mom will want to drive down here tonight, worried sick that I'm having some kind of breakdown. Emma, they're going to call my parents. They probably already have. As if summoned by our conversation, my phone starts ringing. Mom. Don't answer it, Emma says quickly. Not yet. Whatever Jessica told them, your mom is going to be in full crisis mode. She'll want you to apologize, make peace, prove you're okay. And once you do that, you lose all your power. The phone stops ringing, then immediately starts again. Then a text from Dad, honey, call us back. We're worried about you. They're scared, I realize. If they're moving this fast, they're genuinely afraid of what I might do. Good. They should be. But that also makes them dangerous. A cornered Jessica is not something you want to deal with unprepared. My laptop chimes with a new email notification. It's from my cousin Brad, Jessica's son, with the subject line, family meeting tomorrow, important. I open it and read aloud, emergency family gathering tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Mom's house. We need to discuss some concerning behavior and figure out how to help. Please bring any relevant information or observations about tonight's dinner. This is about supporting a family member in crisis. Jesus Christ, Emma breathes. They're calling witnesses. Building a case. A case for what? For why you can't be trusted. Why your version of events is unreliable. By the time that meeting's over, they'll have a dozen examples of you being difficult or unstable over the years. Things you said, ways you acted, all reframed to support their narrative. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text from Uncle Mike. Hey kiddo, heard tonight got a little intense. We've all been there, family stuff can be overwhelming. Want to grab coffee tomorrow morning and talk? Sometimes an outside perspective helps. Now Uncle Mike's positioning himself as the reasonable mediator, I tell Emma. Don't trust it. He's gathering intelligence for Jessica. Anything you tell him will be used at tomorrow's meeting. The walls feel like they're closing in. I stare at Uncle Mike's text, my hands shaking slightly. Emma, they're being so calculated about this. It's like they've done it before. They have. Multiple times. This is their playbook, isolate the target, control the narrative, present a united front. Her voice is bitter with experience. By tomorrow night, you'll be the troubled family member who had a breakdown at Thanksgiving, and they'll be the loving relatives trying to help you through your crisis. My phone rings again. This time it's Aunt Carol. Then Jessica herself. I decline both calls, but the voicemails start piling up. They're calling everyone, I mutter, watching my screen light up with notifications. Coordinating their stories. Another text from the anonymous helper, just got invited to the emergency meeting. They're telling people you threatened the family tonight. Be careful. My blood turns to ice. Emma, they're saying I threatened them. That's not what happened. I barely said anything at dinner. It doesn't matter what actually happened. They're creating their own version of events. Did you raise your voice at all? Leave abruptly. Show any kind of emotion. I think back to dinner, trying to remember every detail through the haze of humiliation and anger. I got quiet after the career stuff. And when I left for the kitchen to help with dessert, I might have. I don't know, walked quickly. I was trying not to cry. There it is. You stormed out of dinner. You were agitated and aggressive. By tomorrow morning, that will have evolved into you making vague threats before disappearing into the kitchen alone. A new text comes through from Mom. Sweetie, Jessica says you seemed very upset tonight and left without saying goodbye. She's worried you might hurt yourself. Please call us immediately. The world tilts. They're telling my parents I'm suicidal. Emma's sharp intake of breath confirms my horror. That's their nuclear option. Once that's on the table, anything you do looks like confirmation. If you post the recordings now, it won't be an act of standing up for yourself, it'll be proof of your mental breakdown. But I'm not, I would never, I can't even finish the sentence. The manipulation is so twisted, so perfectly designed to trap me. I know you're not. But that doesn't matter if everyone believes their version first. My laptop shows 17 new messages in a family group chat I'd forgotten I was part of. I scroll through them with growing nausea. Asterisk Jessica, really concerned about what happened tonight. Has anyone else noticed changes in her behavior lately? Asterisk. Asterisk Aunt Linda, she did seem different at Easter. Very withdrawn. Asterisk. Asterisk Cousin Brad, I've been worried about her social media posts. Some concerning themes. Asterisk. Asterisk Uncle Mike, college stress maybe. Plus the job market is tough right now. Asterisk. They're building their case in real time, rewriting months of family history to support their narrative. My withdrawn behavior at Easter, when I was actually just tired from finals, becomes evidence of mental instability. My social media posts about job hunting stress become concerning themes. Emma, they're in the family group chat right now. Discussing my mental health like I'm not even a person. Screenshot everything. Right now, before they realize you're seeing it. I frantically capture the conversation, watching in real time as my relatives dissect my behavior and find patterns that don't exist. The clinical way they discuss me is almost worse than the cruel comments from dinner. The scariest part, Emma says quietly, is that they probably believe their own story by now. They've convinced themselves they're the good guys trying to help their troubled family member. Another notification pops up. I've been removed from the family group chat. They just kicked me out, I whisper. Then they know you were watching. The meeting tomorrow just became a war council. My phone immediately starts buzzing with individual texts, like they're afraid I might screenshot more of their conversation. Each message follows the same script: concern, love, worry about my state of mind. They're panicking, Emma observes, watching me scroll through the flood of messages. Kicking you out of the group chat was a mistake. Now they look guilty. A new call comes through, my dad this time. His contact photo fills my screen, and for a moment I almost answer. Dad's always been the reasonable one, the peacekeeper who stays out of family drama. Don't, Emma warns, see my finger hover over the screen. If Jessica got to your mom first, she got to him too. He's calling with their talking points, not his own concerns. The call goes to voicemail. Within seconds, a text from Dad appears. Your mother is very upset. We're getting conflicting information about tonight. Come home so we can talk face to face. Conflicting information. I read aloud. What does that even mean? Someone else is talking. Your anonymous helper maybe, or another family member who saw through Jessica's performance. Emma's eyes light up with possibility. That's why they're moving so fast. Their narrative isn't sticking with everyone. My laptop chimes with a new email, this time from Grandma Ruth, who rarely uses technology. The subject line is simply, tonight. I open it with shaking hands. Sweetheart, I may be old but I'm not blind. I saw what happened at dinner, and I saw how you handled yourself with more grace than the rest of them deserved. Don't let them gaslight you about what we all witnessed. Some of us remember what really happened. Love, Grandma. Oh my God. I stare at the screen, tears welling up. Emma, my grandmother saw everything. That's huge. Jessica can't dismiss an 82-year-old woman as mentally unstable. Grandma Ruth just became your credibility. But even as hope flickers, my phone buzzes with a text from cousin Sarah. Hey, Mom asked me to check on you. She's worried about some things Grandma said. You know how confused she gets sometimes. Want to talk? The hope dies instantly. They're already working on discrediting her. Confused. Jesus Christ. Of course they are. But here's what they don't realize, by attacking Grandma Ruth's credibility, they're showing their hand. Anyone who knows her will see right through that. Another email notification. This one's from my college advisor, Professor Martinez. Hi, I hope your Thanksgiving break is going well. I received a concerning call from a family member asking about your academic performance and mental state. I assured them that you're one of my most stable students, but wanted to check if everything is okay. My blood runs cold. Emma, they called my professor. They're trying to sabotage my academic relationships. Who has your advisor's contact information? I think frantically. I gave it to my parents for emergencies. They must have passed it along. This is escalation. They're not just controlling the family narrative anymore, they're trying to damage your reputation professionally. My phone rings again. This time it's my roommate Jenna, who should be 3 states away visiting her own family. That's weird, I mutter, answering the call. Jenna. Aren't you supposed to be in Ohio? I am, but I just got the strangest call from someone claiming to be your aunt. She said you'd been acting erratically and asked if I'd noticed any concerning behavior at school. She wanted to know about your eating habits, sleep schedule, social life, super invasive stuff. What did you tell her? I told her to mind her own business and hung up. But then my mom asked me about it because apparently this aunt called our house looking for my cell number. She told my mom you were in crisis and needed intervention from people who care about you. The room starts spinning. They're calling my friend's parents now. Emma grabs my arm. This isn't normal family dysfunction anymore. This is harassment. They're trying to isolate you completely, family, school, friends. Classic abuser tactics. Jenna, I say into the phone, can you think of anyone else they might contact? Well, they asked about your boyfriend situation, your job prospects, whether you've been dating anyone. Really personal stuff. And. She pauses. They asked if you'd ever talked about hurting yourself or others. The phone slips in my sweaty palm. What did you say? I told them they were insane and that you're the most level-headed person I know. But they seemed really focused on building some kind of case against you. After hanging up with Jenna, I sit in stunned silence. Emma paces the small apartment, her lawyer mind clearly working through implications. They've declared war, she says finally. Full scorched earth. They're not just trying to control the Thanksgiving narrative, they're trying to destroy your credibility entirely. Why though? All I did was sit there and take their abuse. Because you heard everything, and they know it. This isn't about what you did, it's about what you might do. My laptop suddenly chimes with a notification that makes my stomach drop. Someone tagged me on Facebook. With trembling fingers, I click over to see Aunt Linda has posted a long, heartfelt message about family members struggling with mental health and the importance of getting help before it's too late. She's tagged me, my parents, and what looks like half our extended family. Emma, look at this. I turn the screen toward her. She reads aloud, sometimes the people we love most are fighting battles we can't see. Tonight reminded me how precious family is and how we need to support each other through difficult times. Sending love to those who need it most. Emma's voice drips with disgust. Look at all the concerned comments pouring in. The responses are multiplying by the minute. Family friends, distant relatives, people I haven't spoken to in years, all offering prayers and support for the family crisis they're just learning about. My phone starts buzzing with friend requests from people I barely know, clearly wanting front row seats to whatever drama is unfolding. This is brilliant, Emma says grimly. They're creating a public record of your supposed mental health crisis. Now if you release those recordings, everyone will think it's a cry for help. Another notification, this time I've been tagged in Uncle Mike's post, grateful for family tonight, even when conversations get difficult. Remember to check on your loved ones regularly, sometimes the signs aren't obvious. The post includes a photo from dinner, carefully cropped to show only smiling faces around the dessert table. They're rewriting history in real time, I whisper, watching more comments flood in. Look at this, cousin Brad commenting about how family dynamics can be triggering for sensitive people. They're making me the problem. My phone rings. It's Mom again, but this time I answer. Honey, I'm seeing some very concerning social media activity, she says without preamble. People are worried about you. People are worried because Linda and Mike are telling them to be worried. I'm fine, Mom. Are you though? Because Jessica mentioned you seemed upset about normal family conversation, and now I'm hearing from multiple people that you've been struggling. The gaslighting is so smooth, so practiced. What exactly did Jessica tell you? That you got very emotional over some harmless teasing and stormed out. She's worried you might be having some kind of breakdown. Harmless teasing. Is that what we're calling it? There's a pause. Sweetheart, I think you might be remembering things differently than they happened. Stress can do that sometimes. Emma is frantically typing on her phone. She holds up a message, record this call. I fumble for my recording app, the same one I'd used at dinner. The irony isn't lost on me. Mom, do you remember what specifically was said during dinner? Just normal family catch-up. Questions about school, your future plans. Jessica was trying to be helpful with job advice. What kind of advice? Another pause. Well, realistic expectations about your field. Not everyone can have their dream job right away. It's like talking to a stranger. Either Mom genuinely doesn't remember the viciousness of those comments, or she's choosing not to. Either option is terrifying. I think you should come home tonight, she continues. We can all sit down tomorrow and work through this together. As a family. Work through what exactly? Your interpretation of tonight's events. Sometimes when we're overwhelmed, we can misread social situations. Emma is shaking her head violently, making throat-cutting gestures. I need some time to think, Mom. Time to think, or time to spiral. Because that's what worries me. You isolating yourself, getting in your own head. I'm not spiraling. That's exactly what someone who's spiraling would say, honey. The conversation ends with Mom's gentle but firm insistence that I'm not thinking clearly, and me promising to consider coming home tomorrow. After hanging up, I stare at my phone in disbelief. They've got her completely convinced, I tell Emma. My own mother thinks I'm losing my mind. The recording app is still running when my phone rings again. This time it's a number I don't recognize. Hello. I answer cautiously. Is this? There's a pause, paper rustling. Is this the young woman having troubles with her family? This is Dr. Patricia Hendricks from Riverside Mental Health Services. My blood turns to ice. I'm sorry, what? I received a very concerned call from your family about potential self-harm ideation. They've requested an emergency wellness check and possible intervention services. There's been a mistake. I never contacted any mental health services. No, dear, your family contacted us. They're quite worried about your recent behavior and wanted to know about our crisis intervention options. I'm calling to schedule an initial assessment. Emma is frantically Googling on her laptop, mouthing emergency commitment laws at me. Dar. Hendricks, I appreciate your concern, but I don't need an assessment. I'm perfectly fine. Well, that's exactly what we need to determine. Your aunt was very detailed about concerning behaviors, social isolation, paranoid thinking, aggressive outbursts. These can be signs of a developing crisis. My aunt isn't qualified to diagnose anything. Of course not, that's why we need a professional evaluation. Can you come in tomorrow morning? Your family is willing to accompany you for support. The trap is closing around me. I need to think about it. I understand this feels overwhelming, but early intervention is crucial. Your family loves you very much, it took courage for them to reach out. After I hang up, Emma shows me her laptop screen. Look what I found. In this state, family members can petition for a 72-hour psychiatric hold if they can demonstrate imminent danger. They need statements from multiple relatives and evidence of concerning behavior. They're building that evidence right now, I realize. The social media posts, the calls to my friends and professor, now this doctor. My phone buzzes with a text from Dad, spoke with Dr. Hendricks. Proud of you for reaching out for help. We'll get through this together. I never called any doctor, I say, showing Emma the message. They're creating a paper trail that shows you sought help, then can claim you're refusing treatment. It's incredibly sophisticated. Another text, this time from Aunt Linda, just want you to know how much we all love you. Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of. See you at the appointment tomorrow, Red Heart. They've already decided I'm going to this appointment, I tell Emma, my voice shaking. She's deep in legal websites now. This is beyond family drama. They're potentially setting up for involuntary commitment. If you're deemed a danger to yourself or others. But I'm not. You have a recording of them verbally abusing you. If you release it, they can claim it's revenge fantasy from someone in crisis. If you don't release it, they control the narrative completely. My laptop chimes with another Facebook notification. Uncle Mike has posted an update, family emergency tonight. Sometimes the people we love most need professional help, even when they resist. Grateful for resources like Riverside Mental Health Services for families in crisis. The comments are already pouring in. Family friends offering to help with anything you need during this difficult time. People sharing resources for mental health support. Someone's aunt sharing a story about her nephew's breakdown in college. They're making this public, I whisper. Everyone thinks I'm having a mental health crisis. Emma's face is grim. And if you fight back now, it looks like resistance to treatment. Classic catch, 22. My phone rings. It's Grandma Ruth. Ruth? I answer, hoping for an ally. Oh honey, her voice is shaky. I heard about the appointment tomorrow. I'm so sorry I didn't realize how much you were struggling. Even Grandma Ruth. They've gotten to everyone. What exactly did they tell you? I ask. That you've been having some troubles, hearing things that weren't said, getting upset over normal conversations. Jessica explained about dinner. The isolation is complete. Grandma, what exactly did Jessica tell you about dinner? I press, my voice strained. Well, that you seemed confused about what people were saying. Getting angry over helpful suggestions about your future. She said you accused everyone of saying terrible things that nobody remembers saying. The betrayal cuts deeper coming from Grandma Ruth. She's always been the family peacekeeper, but even she's been pulled into their narrative. Do you remember what you heard at dinner? I asked desperately. There's a long pause. Honey, I was in the living room most of the evening with the other ladies. I heard some raised voices toward the end, but Jessica said that was you getting upset over career advice. Of course. They've isolated every potential witness, created alternative explanations for anything anyone might have overheard. After I hang up, Emma shows me her phone. It gets worse. Look at this. She's found Uncle Mike's LinkedIn post. Tonight reminded me how important it is to support our young people through mental health challenges. Sometimes love means having difficult conversations and seeking professional help, even when it's not welcomed. Grateful for family who cares enough to act. Hashtag mental health awareness, hashtag family first. He's posted this on LinkedIn. I breathe. My potential future employers could see this. The comments are even worse. Emma scrolls down. Look, your mom's boss commented offering mental health resources. Someone from your dad's work sharing crisis intervention tips. My professional reputation is being destroyed in real time. Anyone who Googles my name will find this narrative of a family concerned about my mental stability. My phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. Hi. This is Sarah from Dr. Hendrick's office. Your family asked us to confirm your 10 a.m. appointment tomorrow. We'll need you to arrive 15 minutes early for paperwork. Looking forward to helping you. Smiling face with smiling eyes. I never made an appointment, I tell Emma, showing her the text. Text back and cancel. I type, I didn't make this appointment and won't be attending. The response comes immediately. I understand you might be feeling anxious about getting help. That's completely normal. Your family will be there to support you. Dr. Hendrick specializes in helping young adults who are resistant to treatment. Resistant to treatment, I repeat. They've already labeled me as difficult. Emma is pacing now. This is moving too fast. They've contacted a mental health professional, created public documentation of your supposed crisis, and isolated every potential ally. If you don't show up tomorrow, they can claim you're avoiding help. Another notification, I've been tagged in Aunt Linda's Facebook post. It's a long, heartfelt message about loving someone through their darkest moments and the courage it takes to stage an intervention. The post includes a photo of the whole family from last Christmas, with my face circled in a red heart and a caption, praying for this sweet girl. Intervention. I stare at the screen. They're calling it an intervention now. The comments are devastating. Family friends sharing their own stories of loved ones who refused help until it was almost too late. Someone posting suicide prevention resources. A neighbor offering to be there tomorrow for support. My phone rings. It's my college roommate Jessica, different Jessica from my cousin. Oh my god, I just saw your aunt's post. Are you okay? Why didn't you tell me you were struggling? I'm not struggling, Jess. It's complicated, but your whole family is posting about being worried sick. Your mom called my mom asking if I'd noticed any warning signs. I feel terrible that I didn't realize. What exactly did my mom tell your mom? That you've been paranoid lately, making accusations against family members, getting angry over normal conversations. She wanted to know if you'd been acting strange at school. And what did your mom tell her? Jessica hesitates. Well, she mentioned that time you were really stressed about Professor Williams' class and said you felt like he had it out for you. My stomach drops. A completely normal complaint about a difficult professor, now being reframed as paranoid thinking. Jess, I need you to listen carefully. I'm not having a breakdown. My family is manipulating the situation. But why would they do that? They seem so concerned and loving in all these posts. The same question everyone will ask. Why would a loving family create an elaborate fiction about someone's mental health? Emma holds up her laptop screen. She's found something that makes my blood freeze. Look at this, she whispers. On Emma's screen is a legal document she's pulled up, something about guardianship petitions. My name is highlighted in yellow across the top. This isn't possible, I breathe, but the courthouse filing timestamp shows today's date. Emergency petition for temporary guardianship, case of, my full name, age 22. Emma scrolls through the document. They filed this 3 hours ago. Look at the grounds they're claiming. My eyes scan the legal language. Subject demonstrates impaired judgment, paranoid ideation, and increasing disconnection from reality. Recent incidents include unfounded accusations against family members, social media behavior indicating psychological distress, and resistance to voluntary mental health treatment. Social media behavior. I grab Emma's laptop. I haven't posted anything on social media about this. Look at the evidence they submitted. Emma clicks to an attachment. It screenshots of posts I never made. My Facebook account apparently shared a long, rambling status last night about feeling like everyone is against me and not knowing who to trust anymore. The post includes concerning language about feeling trapped and like I might do something I'll regret. I didn't write this. My hands are shaking. Emma, I didn't post any of this. But there it is, timestamped 2:47 a.m., with comments from concerned family members begging me to reach out for help and please don't hurt yourself. Emma checks my actual Facebook account. The post isn't there. They've either photoshopped these or somehow gained access to post and delete them. But the screenshots exist as legal evidence now. My phone buzzes with a call from a number I don't recognize. Against Emma's warning gesture, I answer. Is this my name? This is Officer Martinez with Campus Police. We received a welfare check request from your family. They're concerned about some social media posts indicating you might harm yourself. Officer, I'm fine. I never made any posts about hurting myself. I understand you might be feeling defensive right now. Your family provided screenshots showing otherwise. I need to ask, are you currently having thoughts of harming yourself or others? The question feels like a trap. Answer wrong, and I'm proving their point. No, I'm not having any thoughts of harming anyone. That's good to hear. However, given the concern level from your family and these posts, I'm required to document this conversation. Can you tell me where you are right now? Emma is frantically shaking her head, but I'm already in too deep. I'm at a friend's apartment studying. Which friend? We may need to verify your current mental state with someone who's observed you recently. I hang up, my heart pounding. They're sending campus police to do a welfare check. Based on social media posts you didn't make, Emma says grimly. This is next level gaslighting. My phone immediately rings again. Campus police calling back. I don't answer. Emma's laptop chimes with another update. Cousin Jessica has posted a new update, spoke with campus police. They're going to make sure she's safe tonight. Sometimes you have to love someone enough to get authorities involved. Praying she accepts help before it's too late. Before it's too late. I stare at the screen. They're making it sound like I'm suicidal. The comments are filling up fast. Someone posting the campus crisis hotline number. Another person sharing a story about a friend who seemed fine until suddenly she wasn't. A family friend offering to drive up and help with anything. Emma grabs my hands. They're not just trying to discredit you anymore. They're building a case for legal control over your life. If this guardianship goes through, they can make medical decisions for you, control your finances, even decide where you live. My phone starts ringing again. Campus police, persistent. What happens if I don't answer? I ask. They'll come looking for you. And when they find you, any resistance looks like confirmation that you need intervention. The net is closing. Every move I make can be twisted as evidence of instability. Don't cooperate with police. Clearly in crisis. Defend myself against false accusations. Paranoid and delusional. Try to prove my family is lying. Revenge fantasies from someone losing touch with reality. Emma, I whisper, I think they've already won. No, Emma says firmly. They haven't won. But we need to be smarter than them. She opens a new browser window and starts typing rapidly. My mom's a family lawyer. I'm calling her right now, even though it's late. This guardianship petition, there are procedures they have to follow. While Emma makes the call, my phone rings again. Campus police. This time, I answer. Officer Martinez, this is going to sound crazy, but I believe my family has fabricated evidence to support a false narrative about my mental health. I never made those social media posts. That's a very serious accusation. Can you prove that? I have the original audio recordings that started this whole situation. The recordings that prove my family has been systematically cruel, and now they're retaliating by trying to have me declared incompetent. There's a long pause. You recorded your family without consent. In my own home, yes. And now they're using fake social media posts and manipulated narratives to try to gain legal guardianship over me. Emma hands me a note. Mom says guardianship hearings require 72-hour notice and a court appearance. You have rights. Officer, I continue, I'm willing to come in for a welfare check, but I want everything documented. I want it on record that I'm coherent, not suicidal, and that I'm alleging my family has fabricated evidence. All right. Can you come to the station? Bring a friend if it makes you more comfortable. 20 minutes later, Emma and I sit in the campus police station. Officer Martinez is surprisingly thorough, documenting my coherent responses, my detailed timeline of events, and my specific allegations about the fabricated social media posts. This is definitely unusual, he admits. But you're clearly not in crisis. I'm going to note that in my report. When we get back to Emma's apartment, her mom calls back with crucial information. The guardianship petition can't proceed without a psychological evaluation from a court-appointed professional, not someone your family chooses. And you have the right to contest it with your own attorney. What about the recordings? I ask. Depending on your state's laws, they might be admissible as evidence of the family's motivation for filing false guardianship claims. For the first time in hours, I feel like I can breathe. Emma pulls up my social media accounts and starts methodically documenting everything, the fake posts my family screenshotted, the real timeline of my actual activity, the coordinated campaign of concerned trolling. Look at this, she says. All these posts from your family members were scheduled in advance. See the timestamps? They're all exactly 1 hour apart, like someone planned this rollout. My phone buzzes. A text from Mom, honey, we know you're scared, but running away won't help. Please come home so we can take care of you. Instead of the usual guilt and self-doubt, I feel something new, clarity. I type back, I have legal representation now. All communication needs to go through my attorney. The guardianship petition will be contested, and the fabricated social media posts will be exposed as evidence of harassment. The response comes immediately, you're being manipulated by people who don't really know you. No, Mom. For the first time in years, I'm not being manipulated at all. Emma grins at me. How does it feel? I look at my phone, at the desperate messages from family members whose narrative is crumbling, at the clear evidence of their coordination and deception. It feels like I finally have my life back. The recordings that started this mess might have cost me my family, but they also revealed who they really were. And sometimes, the truth is worth the price of freedom.